With a sudden snap, a cold metal trap clamped around his leg. The fox yelped in pain. His paw bled, and the white snow turned red all around him. Exhausted, the fox slumped to the ground, too weak to move. Just then, a shape appeared between the trees. A strong, quiet badger with kind eyes and a worn cloth bag on his back approached the fox. The fox didn't move. He only watched as the badger gently lifted him and placed him on his back. Through the snowy woods they walked by careful step. The badger brought the fox to a little den built from stone, moss, and branches. It felt safe. Inside, he laid the fox on a bed of dry leaves and cleaned his wound with warm water and gentle paws. He wrapped the fox's leg with large green leaves and tied them with strips of soft bark. Then he stirred a pot of roots and herbs over a tiny fire, filling the den with a cozy smell. The fox tried to stand, but his leg wobbled and gave out beneath him. He limped outside and tried to run, but tumbled down a snowy hill. He landed hard and lay still, staring up at the sky, feeling small and sad. But just then, he noticed something nearby, a black crow trapped beneath a broken tree branch. The fox dragged himself over it. With great effort, saved the crow, and the fox put the crow in a safe place to recover. After some time, the crow flapped its wings, lifted into the sky, and circled once above the fox like a quiet thank you. The fox limped slowly back to the den, breath puffing like smoke in the cold air. The next morning, he found a bundle of berries, stacked neatly outside his door. He looked around confused, but touched. Someone had left him a gift. He smiled and brought the berries inside. Soon, a nervous squirrel came, pointing toward a fallen tree. Her babies were stuck underground, and she didn't know what to do. The fox followed without a word. He dug with all his strength, ignoring the pain in his leg. Little baby squirrels peeked out, blinking at the light. The mother pulled them close, chattering with joy. More animals began to arrive for help. A limping chipmunk, an owl with a hurt wing. The fox helped them all. He made tiny bandages from leaves and bark, and offered food and a warm place to rest. He collected herbs and supplies, placing them on a small shelf inside the den. He carved a stick into a cane and used it to walk more easily through the forest. That night, the fox sat quietly outside his den, warming his paws by a small fire. Above him, the stars sparkled in the dark sky. The forest was calm, and snowflakes began to drift gently down again. Just as the fox started to close his eyes, a sudden sound echoed through the valley, a loud, frightened howl. The fox's ears perked up. Something was wrong. He rushed outside and spotted a wolf pup, caught in the fast, icy river, clinging to a broken piece of wood. The pup spun in the rushing water, crying out for help. Animals gathered near the river's edge, watching in fear. No one knew what to do, but the fox didn't hesitate. He tied a strong vine around his body and knotted the other end to a tree and jumped in. The cold water crashed around him, but he swam with all his might. His eyes stayed fixed on the pup. He reached the little wolf and grabbed him gently by the scruff. The fox swam them both back to shore. The fox collapsed in the snow, soaked and shivering, but the pup was safe. The forest animals stepped forward, quiet and full of awe. They surrounded the fox, wrapping him in leaves, food, Birds and flew down, carefully placing branches overhead to shield him from the falling snow. The forest watched over him. When morning light touched the trees, the fox opened his eyes slowly. He was wrapped in soft moss blankets, with the wolf pup curled up beside him. Fast asleep, the fox rose, still limping, but a little steadier than before. He walked the forest paths, the pup trotting happily at his side. Animals waved as he passed: a frog, a squirrel, a deer. The fox carried an injured frog across a frozen stream, gently balanced on his back. High above, the owl he once helped soared through the sky. She dropped a tiny pouch of herbs at his feet, a quiet gift. Back at the den, the fox tended a small garden of winter plants. They were slow growing, but strong just like him. A mother rabbit watched as her children played outside, tumbling and giggling in the snow. Inside, the fox carefully built a new shelf for his supplies, wrapping cloths, herbs, and tools. The once quiet den was now full of life. Then one day, the old badger returned. The fox saw him. Their eyes met. No words were needed. The badger gave a quiet nod, then turned and walked back into the woods. The fox watched the old badger disappear. His legs still limped. His body still carried scars, but now he stood tall, and his steps were full of purpose. Outside his den, a line of animals waited patiently. Each one needed help, and each one knew they were safe here. The fox wrapped a soft bandage around a young raccoon's paw. He offered a warm bowl of rootster to a tired little hedgehog who curled up happily by the fire. The den glowed with warmth and kindness. A firelight, herbs hanging from the walls, and resting animals all round. Snow began to fall again, soft and silent, covering the forest in white. The fox stepped outside and breathed in the cold, fresh air. From above, the black crow he once saved glided down and landed beside him. They sat side by side, watching the peaceful forest together. One by one, other animals joined them: squirrel, deer, rabbit, all gathering around the fox. No one spoke. As it got darker, the fox turned back toward his home. He placed one last healing leaf on the shelf and closed the door behind him. Outside, snow fell. Inside, the fire crackled gently, and the fox, safe and warm, curled up by the fire.